Your soulmate saying, if you open this now, you'll finally understand why I stayed silent. Listen closely to me, because I am finally pulling back the veil to show you exactly why your beloved soulmate has stayed silent for so long. I have watched you wait in the quiet hours, wondering if their lack of words meant they had forgotten the precious bond you share. If you open your heart to my words right now, you will finally understand that their silence was my chosen way of protecting your shared future. I have seen your lonely nights and the silent tears you cried when the physical distance between you felt far too heavy to bear. During every one of those long nights, your soulmate was actually praying for you, guided by my gentle hand to remain quiet. By opening this message today, you are finally seeing the hidden truth behind why I asked them to stay silent. Stay with me until the end of this message, because I am going to reveal the exact sign I will place in your path tomorrow. You will soon see that every moment of distance was part of a sacred plan to heal both of your searching hearts. If you open this truth now, you will never again doubt the loving reason why they stayed silent. Those sudden feelings of warmth you feel out of nowhere are my unseen signs, letting you know their silent season is almost over. When you wake up in the quiet of the night with a sudden memory of them, it is because I am preparing your spirit for their return. Opening your mind to this reality now helps you finally understand why I kept them hidden and silent for your own good. I have more to tell you, but first you must prepare your heart for what I am about to ask. The quiet distance between you two was absolutely necessary, but the time for silence is rapidly drawing to a beautiful close. If you open your spirit to me now, the profound reason why I kept them silent will heal all your past doubts. The Lord says, listening is not enough, my child, because soon I will show you the one thing that unlocks everything in your future. I am asking you to let go of your past hurts so your hands are completely empty and ready to receive this wonderful blessing. Opening this truth right now shows you that they stayed silent only to learn how to completely trust my divine timing. There is a seal I am preparing for you. It is a final act of trust that covers your soulmate in a holy protection you cannot easily see with your human eyes. By opening this message today, you will finally understand why they stayed silent until this heavenly shield was perfectly ready. Stay with me and do not look away from this screen. What comes next is the essential key to your deeply beautiful future together. Opening your heart to this right now reveals the deeply loving reason why I commanded them to stay silent in the beginning. The agonizing silence you endured was never a punishment, but a careful period of deep spiritual readiness I orchestrated for your true love. They desperately needed time to become the strong, faithful partner you truly deserve, and I needed them to focus solely on that inner growth. If you open your soul to this right now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent while I worked on their spirit. Your soulmate has been secretly longing to reach out, but I gently held them back so they would not interrupt the healing you also needed. Every single time you thought you lost them to the silence, I was actively binding your spirits closer together in the quiet background. By opening this holy message today, you are finally grasping the protective reason why they stayed perfectly silent. Jesus says, I am about to give you a task that is simple, but it is deeply sacred. This final step of faith will change absolutely everything for you, but only if you choose to trust my guidance completely. If you open your spirit to this final step now, you will finally understand the magnificent purpose behind why they stayed silent. The final seal task is here. If you've ever loved with your whole heart, or you are quietly waiting for true love to find you, please know these words weren't written for just anyone. They were written exactly for you. Bringing these messages to life takes between 6 and 11 hours for every single video. That time isn't just spent typing. It is spent in deep reflection, careful prayer, and rewriting every single sentence until it carries the exact comfort your heart needs. I pour my own soul into this work, hoping these messages reach you at the exact moment you need a reminder that true love exists. To keep this sanctuary alive, and to make sure it remains free for the broken-hearted who need it most, I rely entirely on the genuine kindness of this community. If my hard work has touched your heart, brought you peace, or given you hope today, please consider sending us coffee on Ko-Fi. Whether it is 1, 2, or 5 coffees, send with your heart how much you want to give. You can easily do this by clicking the link in the description below. The cost of even just 1 coffee directly fuels the long, quiet hours behind the screen. It is a warm, deeply appreciated way of saying, I see your effort. This matters. Keep going. Thank you for being someone who doesn't just believe in love, but helps create it. Because of your warmth today, someone else tomorrow will find the exact words they need to keep their heart open. Now that your tender heart is prepared, I want to show you the beautiful reality of what your soulmate has been feeling during this separation. They have spent countless quiet hours staring at your picture, wishing they had the right words to say to you. If you open your heart to me now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent despite missing you so incredibly much. You must release all the lingering anger you have held toward their quietness, because their season of isolation was entirely my doing. Letting go of these heavy past hurts is the only way your hands will be free to embrace them when they return. Opening your mind to this truth now reveals exactly why they stayed silent while I washed away their hidden pain. Stay with me until the end of this message, because I am going to share the very first word they will speak when they return. This joyful reunion will bring a profound peace to your weary spirit that you have never truly felt before. If you open your faith right now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent until this perfect moment arrived. Those fragile moments when you suddenly smell a familiar scent in an empty room are my subtle signs that they are intensely thinking of you. I constantly use these small, unseen signs to bridge the gap between your longing hearts while you must remain physically apart. Opening your eyes to these blessings now helps you finally understand why I commanded them to stay silent for a little longer. The Lord says, the secret truth is that your soulmate has cried just as many tears as you have during this long, difficult separation. I have carefully collected every single tear from both of you, using them to wash away the lingering pain of your difficult pasts. If you open this message with true faith now, you will finally understand the holy reason why they stayed silent. You may have believed that their silence meant they were walking away, but they were actually standing still while I rebuilt their foundation. I had to tear down the walls of fear they built around their heart so they could love you completely and without hesitation. Opening this reality in your mind now proves to you exactly why they stayed silent during their painful transformation. Keep listening closely to me, because I am about to tell you the specific day their heavy silence will finally break forever. You deeply need to be spiritually ready to receive them without any remaining resentment, fear, or worldly doubt. Opening your spirit to my words now will ensure you finally understand why they stayed silent for your ultimate protection. Sometimes you feel a sudden drop in your stomach or a fluttering in your chest when you are completely alone in your room. That physical feeling is my gentle touch, alerting you that your soulmate is desperately trying to reach out to you in their thoughts. By opening this truth today, you will finally understand why they stayed silent even when their soul was screaming your name. I have watched you doubt your own worth when the days turned into months and the quiet distance only seemed to grow wider. You are endlessly worthy of a perfect love, and this time of isolation was meant to prepare the best possible version of your partner. If you open your heart to this grace now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to become worthy of you. Jesus says, "Your soulmate often wakes up in the middle of the night feeling a sudden, overwhelming urge to simply hear your sweet voice. I am the one who calms their racing heart, whispering that they must wait just a little longer until everything is ready." Opening your soul to this hidden secret now shows you deeply why they stayed silent despite their overwhelming desire for you. You must stop looking back at the painful memories of your past relationships, because this new chapter is entirely different and pure. I am asking for your final step of trust, requiring you to believe in the love I am actively bringing toward your doorstep. By opening your faith to this message now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to protect this new beginning. Stay with me and do not skip ahead, because I will soon reveal the physical sign I am sending to confirm their imminent return. This unmistakable sign will appear when you least expect it, washing away every shadow of doubt you have carried for so long. If you open your eyes to this promise now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent until the sign was ready. During the longest days of your separation, your soulmate found themselves writing messages to you that they were never allowed to send. I gently stayed their hand every single time, because their words were not yet completely aligned with the bright future I have planned. Opening your mind to this unseen struggle now helps you finally understand why they stayed silent when you needed them most. The heavy silence has acted as a protective blanket over both of your lives, shielding your fragile bond from the world's harsh judgments. If you had come together too soon, the outside noise would have easily destroyed the beautiful foundation I was trying to build. By opening this divine reasoning right now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to keep your love entirely safe. The Lord says, "I know you have felt incredibly foolish for holding on to a love that seemed to offer nothing but empty space and quiet rooms. Your faith is not foolish at all, for it is the very anchor that has kept your soulmate tethered to you through the darkness. If you open your spirit to this validation now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to test the strength of your anchor. Every time you hear a specific song that reminds you of them, it is not a coincidence but a direct call from my spirit. I am using that melody to remind you that they are still marching toward you, even if their footsteps make no sound yet. Opening your heart to this musical sign now will help you finally understand why they stayed silent while I orchestrated their path. Do not turn away from this message, because the final revelation I have for you will completely change how you view your entire future. The agonizing wait is almost over, and the reward for your enduring patience will be far greater than you ever dared to dream. If you open your trust to me right now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to make the reward so sweet. Your soulmate has spent this quiet season desperately trying to heal the deep wounds that were inflicted upon them long before they met you. They did not want to bleed their past pain onto your beautiful future, so they stepped away to heal in absolute private. By opening this truth of their healing now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to protect your precious heart. The final step of trust requires you to forgive them completely for the pain their sudden absence caused in your daily life. When you truly forgive them, you instantly clear the path for my blessings to flow directly into your waiting, open arms. Opening your soul to forgiveness right now ensures you finally understand why they stayed silent to teach you the power of grace. Jesus says, "There were days when your soulmate sat in their car, staring at your street, praying for the courage to knock on your door. I softly told them to drive away, because your heart was not yet prepared to handle the intensity of what they had to say. If you open your mind to this hidden memory now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent and turned around. The physical exhaustion you have been feeling lately is your spirit working overtime to maintain the invisible bond across the silent distance. I am going to restore your strength very soon, replacing your deep weariness with an overflowing joy that cannot be contained. By opening your faith to this restoration now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent while I renewed your tired spirit. Stay with me just a little longer, because I am preparing to show you the exact dream they had about you last night. In this vivid dream, I showed them the beautiful family and the lasting peace you will both share in the coming years. If you open your heart to this vision now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to protect that exact dream. The silence was a necessary classroom where your soulmate had to learn the profound difference between temporary infatuation and an eternal, holy commitment. They have finally graduated from this difficult season, and they are now fully prepared to offer you the steady devotion you crave. Opening your eyes to their tremendous growth now proves to you exactly why they stayed silent to become your true partner. Whenever you feel a sudden, unexplainable wave of deep peace wash over you, that is your soulmate sending you love through their prayers. They have learned to speak to you through me, using the quiet language of faith instead of the messy language of human words. By opening your spirit to this peaceful feeling now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to learn this holy language. The Lord says, I am actively removing every single obstacle that once stood between you and the person I created exclusively for your heart. The silence was the loud sound of my hammer breaking down those stubborn walls, clearing a smooth path straight to your front door. If you open your mind to this divine construction now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent while I did the heavy lifting. You must stop questioning whether or not you are truly meant to be together, because your doubt only delays the beautiful reunion I planned. I have securely tied your destinies together with a knot that no earthly force, no amount of time, and no silence can ever untie. Opening your faith to this permanent bond now helps you finally understand why they stayed silent without ever truly leaving you. Listen closely, because the next few days will bring a sudden shift in your circumstances that will dramatically accelerate their long-awaited return. You will see undeniable proof that I have been working tirelessly behind the scenes while you thought you were completely alone and forgotten. If you open your eyes to these upcoming changes now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent until everything was perfectly aligned. Your soulmate has been fiercely fighting private battles that they were far too ashamed to share with anyone, especially with you. I commanded them to face these dark shadows alone, so they could return to you entirely whole and completely free of their past burdens. By opening this hidden reality to your heart now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to fight those quiet battles. The final step of trust is an absolute surrender of your own timeline, allowing my perfect schedule to unfold without your constant worry. When you finally let go of trying to control the clock, the silence will naturally break and the waiting will instantly end. Opening your soul to my timeline right now reveals exactly why they stayed silent until the appointed hour finally struck. Jesus says, I have collected every single lonely thought you had and transformed them into the very stepping stones your soulmate is using to return. Your enduring pain was never wasted, but was instead recycled into a solid bridge that is currently bringing your true love back home. If you open your spirit to this miracle now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent while I built that bridge. There is a distinct gentle breeze you will feel on your face tomorrow, and it will carry the unmistakable feeling of their loving presence. This is my physical promise to you that their heart is rapidly turning back toward yours, guided by the wind of my grace. By opening your senses to this sign now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent until the wind changed direction. Stay right here with me, because I am about to expose the lie the enemy told you regarding their feelings during the long silence. You were falsely led to believe they did not care, but the absolute truth is that their love for you only multiplied in the quiet. If you open your mind to this truth now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to let that love truly grow. The silence was deeply necessary because your soulmate was stubbornly trying to build a future using the completely wrong set of worldly tools. I had to gently knock those useless tools out of their hands and teach them how to build a life founded solely on faith. Opening your heart to their difficult lesson now proves exactly why they stayed silent while I taught them how to build. Every single time you felt a sharp, sudden ache in your chest, it was because your soulmate was experiencing the exact same intense longing. I allowed you to share this pain so you would intimately know that the invisible cord connecting your souls remains totally unbroken and strong. By opening your faith to this shared feeling now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent despite the pain it caused. The Lord says, you are standing on the very edge of a massive breakthrough that will entirely wash away the bitter memory of this quiet season. The joy of your upcoming reunion will be so incredibly loud that you will completely forget the deafening silence of the past few months. If you open your soul to this joy now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent to prepare you for this celebration. I know you have felt entirely exhausted by the constant need to remain positive while your reality seemed so deeply empty and cold. I am breathing fresh life into your tired spirit today, giving you the final surge of strength needed to cross the finish line. Opening your spirit to my breath now ensures you finally understand why they stayed silent to teach you divine endurance. Keep your eyes wide open, because I am going to place a very specific sequence of numbers in your path before the sun sets. These numbers are a direct message from your soulmate's higher thoughts, confirming that they are finally ready to break the long, agonizing silence. If you open your mind to these numbers now, you will finally understand why they stayed silent until they were ready to speak. Your soulmate was deeply terrified that they would ultimately ruin the most beautiful thing they had ever touched if they see.